Welcome back to Season 2 of the Discount Property Investor Podcast. Our mission is to share with you what we have learned from our experience and the experience of others to help you make more money investing like a pro. We want to teach you how to create wealth by investing in real estate the Discount Property Investor way. Make sure you never miss an episode and download the Discount Property Investor app in Google Play or iTunes today. To jumpstart your real estate investing career, visit freewholesalecourse.com, the most complete free course on wholesaling real estate ever. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. I'm your host, David Dodge. My partner, Mike Slane, co-host. Mike is out in the field today buying some properties. But I am joined today with Mark Podolsky. And Mark is AKA the Land Geek. Am I getting that right?
The Land Geek.
The Land Geek. Okay. Well, Mark, how are you today? Good morning.
David Dodge. Pulse is normal. Respiration's fine. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing awesome. I see you're on the treadmill desk today. I love it. Very cool. Very cool. I need to get me one of those. So, Mark, what are we going to be talking about today? The Land Geek. What does the Land Geek do? What are you into these days? What are you doing? And how are you making money in real estate?
Yeah, so essentially, I'm a full-time land investor.
Okay.
And, basically what I do is I buy and sell raw land. But the way that I do it is a little bit unique in the sense that I create passive income on this raw land so I don't have to deal with renters, rehabs, renovations, or rodents. So it's this one-time sale. You get this recurring passive income. And because I'm not dealing with a tenant, I'm exempt from Dodd-Frank, RESPA, or the SAFE Act, any of this onerous real estate legislation. And we've got this massive market. We have no competition. I mean, let's face it, it's like the least sexy niche ever, right? Like you're not going to go on HGTV or the DIY network and see flip this land. It's 90% automated with software. So it's really a cool niche. And if you want to, I can actually walk you through exactly what I do and how I do it. I
would love that. Let's do it.
Okay. So David, where do you live?
I live in St. Louis, Missouri.
All right. Awesome. I'm from St. Louis.
No way.
Yeah.
Now, where do you live now, Mark?
So I'm in Phoenix now, but I grew up in like Creve Coeur area.
I just moved out of Creve Coeur. I love that area. I'm in De Pere now.
Okay, great. I love De Pere.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So you got to send me an emos.
Absolutely.
After okay. Anyways, I digress. All right. So you're in St. Louis, and I see that there's this 10-acre parcel in Texas, and it looks like on the tax roll, David Dodge owes $200 in back taxes and lives in St. Louis, Missouri. Right?
Only $200.
Only $200. But you're advertising two things to me. Number one, you have no emotional attachment to that raw land. You live in St. Louis, the property's in Texas. Yep. And number two, you're distressed in some way because when we don't value something, we don't pay for it. And you owe back taxes, right? Now, I don't know what's going on with you, but it doesn't really matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the comparable sales on that 10-acre parcel for let's say the last 12 to 18 months.
Okay.
Let's say, for example, it's $10,000.
Now, I got to interrupt you, Mark. How do you do that when you don't have MLS access we're talking about Texas, right?
In Texas, right. So essentially you call the county assessor, and this is all public data.
Okay.
And they'll have all the last sales. So you put that in your spreadsheet. You're going to take the lowest comp, and you're going to divide by 4. And that's going to get you what Warren Buffett would call a 300% margin of safety. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to be like the housing guys. I'm not going to say, hey, David, I'm interested in buying your land. You're like, well, I'm interested in selling my land. I don't want to be in the appraisal business. I'm going to send you an actual offer for $2,500. Now, you owe $200 in back taxes. You live in St. Louis. $2,500 is better than nothing because you've been getting notices from the treasurer every single month that if you don't pay your taxes, that property is either going to go to a tax deed or a tax lien auction. And essentially, at some point in time, you'll lose it.
I just left a tax auction, and I bought one. I only paid $5,000 for it. How funny is that?
That's amazing.
Yeah, no, this is a different type of thing than that, but I know a little bit about it. So yeah, continue. That's awesome.
Yeah, so exactly. So we're gonna get that property before it goes to a competitive auction, right? So
Okay.
now in reality, 3 to 5% of people are going to accept your quote unquote top dollar offer.
That's
Right?
high. That's a high percent.
Right, which is good.
I mean, so that means I only got to do 100 offers to get 3 to 5 deals. If I can automate 500 offers a week, then there's no reason I can't get 10 deals a week, right?
Exactly.
Love it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So now you accept the offer for $2,500,
Yeah.
and then we're going to do our due diligence. We're going to make sure like you still own the property, back taxes are only $200, that there's ingress and egress or legal access. There's something compelling about the property. And so we have this whole property checklist. Now, we outsource this to the Philippines. So our team does this. It costs us about $11. They have access to an American title company. So for deals that are $5,000 or less, we're going to do our own sort of title search.
Yeah.
If 5,000 or more, we're going to close to a title company.
Sure.
We're going to mitigate our risk on that case. So
Yeah.
we go through our checklist. But while we're going through our checklist and doing our due diligence, we're curating a marketing package for our buyer, right? So I'm getting the GIS maps, I'm getting the plat map, I'm getting the aerial map, I'm getting pictures of the property. I might do a local Craigslist gig for $50 and have somebody actually stomp on the property, tell me what the neighbors are doing. Is any, are there any dilapidated cars or homes out there?
They basically, when you do the Craigslist thing, the gig on Craigslist, they just go out and take photos and then write a simple, like maybe half a page or 1 page summary of what the hell's going on.
Exactly.
Nobody was there, or there's people everywhere, and they just tell you what's going on. So you don't ever go to the properties then.
I don't go to the properties.
How many properties have you bought in the last, let's say, 2 years?
Well, I've done over 5,200 land deals since 2001. So I try to do about a deal a day.
A deal a day. Wow, that's pretty awesome. That's a ton of deals, man.
Yeah, but it's automated, so it's really not that difficult to do. Essentially,
Sure.
it's just a machine.
Right.
So essentially, I buy that property from you for $2,500, and then I've got a built-in best buyer. Do you know who it is? Who's going to buy that property from me? I'm going to sell this property in 30 days or less.
I have no idea, Mark. Who's the buyer?
It's the neighbors. The neighbors.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to send out neighbor letters. I'm going to say, look, before I go to the open market, here's your opportunity. Expand your holdings, protect your view, protect your privacy. So oftentimes, the neighbors will buy that property.
So how often is the times? Like, what would you say the percentage is of that?
So I'd say for us, it's about 30%.
Which is extremely high.
Which is extremely high. Now, if the neighbors pass, then we're going to go to our buyers list. And these are people on our email list that have raise their hand and say, we're interested in buying raw land. So about 30% of the time, the buyers list will buy. Now, the other 40% will go to a little website you've probably never heard of called Craigslist. It's the most trafficked site in the US. And using a program called postingdomination.com/the land geek, we can automate our Craigslist postings. And by just pressing a button, I can put out about 128 ads at one time. Same thing, that same program will do Facebook listings as well. Okay. So essentially, the way that I'm going to sell this property is where the magic happens. So I'm going to ask for about a $2,500 down payment. Now, I might go 6 months out to get my capital out. But I want to get my capital out as fast as possible.
So you're financing these on the sell side?
I'm owner financing it. So I create this note, so I'm getting the passive income. So then I'm going to make it a car payment. So I'm going to get $2,500 down, let's say $449 a month at 9% interest for the next 8 years. So essentially, I'm getting $449 a month at 9% interest over the next 8 years. I don't have to deal with the renters, rehabs, renovations, or rodents. Because essentially, I'm using a land contract and not a deed of trust when I owner finance. There's no costs to the foreclosure process if they don't pay. I use a software program called geekpay.io that automates the back end of it. So it's a one-time set and forget it program. So we collect that $449 a month at 9% interest via ACH or check. But if the ACH fails, it'll charge their credit card on file. So I went from an 8% default rate to a 4% default rate with this software. And then they can log in. They don't have to call me up and say, hey, Mark, what's my current balance? They can see it. They can make a prepayment at any time. And the software does all the amortization calculations. So then the game that we play, David, is can we create enough of these land notes where our passive income exceeds our fixed expenses, and then we're working because we want to, not because we have to.
I love it, Mark. That's awesome. It's so awesome. So you've basically automated the investing process. Now, earlier you had mentioned about 90% of it's automated. So what is the 10% that's not? Can you tell us a little bit about what that consists of? Because it sounds like you have multiple softwares that you're using, which is great.
Right. So the human beings essentially have to get involved. And number one, there's 3,007 U.S. counties, right? Where are we going to make our offers? Nobody wakes up, David, and says, hey, you know what? I want to buy some raw land today in Minnesota, unless you live in Minnesota. So we want to focus on, the Sunshine States, Texas, Colorado, New Mexico, California, Arizona, Oregon, Washington, Florida. These are fast-growing states. They've got Nevada. They have a plethora of inexpensive raw land. So we want to focus there. Then essentially we want to find the best counties for that as well. So we're going to do county research that we can't automate. So that piece we can't automate, but once we get our list, then we can automate that process as well. I'll go to Fiverr and I'll have somebody, while I'm sleeping, scrub that list. So we want to get rid of all the commercial property, residential property, and essentially they can just do it really quick and dirty by using, a use code for VL. And then we've got to batch that list, because essentially, if I send somebody the same offer that has 1 acre, or the same offer that has 10 acres, the same person that has 1 acre, they're going to send me back glitter in the mail. So I've got to price my list. That part, I can have a VA do, but I have to, double check that. That can be automated. The offers go out, that's automated. The due diligence, human beings, we outsource that, so that's essentially automated. But the selling part of it, unless you are big enough, like me, you have an acquisition manager, that piece you would have to do yourself as well.
Sure.
So that's where the 10% would come in, where you'd have to have human beings involved, or you yourself would have to sell. So the way that I teach this is the last two pieces that you would ever sort of step out of are going to be the county research and the selling. Once you've got enough deal flow, then you can start, completely being out of that business.
I love it. So whenever you're going to buy these, you're basically buying them at the lowest comp divided by 4. So 25% of the lowest comp. So you're trying to find the most comparable property to comp. Obviously, you can't compare 8 acres to 45 acres. Right.
Now, and essentially, the market is going to tell me how I'm doing with my pricing. So if the response rate is under 3%, I've come in too low. If it's over 5%, I've actually come in too high, and I've got to retrade.
Gotcha. Okay. So you're doing a deal a day. What do you make on an average deal, if you don't mind me asking?
So our margins are 300 to 1,000% on average. So when we do owner financing, it's about 800 to 1,000%. If we do a cash deal, which I hate to do, but sometimes we have to do it, it's 300 to 500%.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. So then, wow, this is blowing my mind here, man. I love it. A deal a day. You are crushing the game. That's awesome. So whenever you're buying the deals and then you do the owner financing, how long does it take for you to break even on the deal?
So I'll go out 6 months at the longest.
And then after that, it's all profit for you.
So after that, it's all profit.
What's the average term that you offer in your owner finance?
Well, it depends on the property. So, if it's an inexpensive property, I might go out 3 years. If it's a more expensive property, I could go out 15 years. In some cases, I've got, 640 acre sections. I might be out 30 years on.
Holy cow. So you're shooting to get your money back in the first 6 months, maybe a year, if it's a long one. And then you're just getting passive income for many years after that. That's amazing, Mark. I love it.
I mean, one of my clients just did a deal. He bought 640 acres for 15 grand in Nevada, and he sold it for 150,000 on terms, 15 grand down. I think he does 1,000 a month.
Man, that's amazing. So Mark, how did you get into this? And what kind of real estate were you doing prior to land investing?
So I never did real estate prior to land investing. I was actually a really overstressed, unhappy, miserable investment banker specializing in mergers and acquisitions
Okay.
for private equity groups. And I had a 45-minute commute to work and back. I was micromanaged. It was long hours. It was stressful. And it got so bad for me that I wouldn't get the Sunday blues anticipating Monday coming around. I get the Friday blues anticipating the weekend going by really fast and having to be back at work on Monday.
Right.
So my firm hires this guy, and he's telling me that on the side, it's like a side hustle. He's going to tax deed auctions. He's buying up raw land, pennies on the dollar, and he's making on average a 300% return on his investment. Well, David, I'm looking at companies all day long. I mean, a great company has 15% EBITDA margins or free cash flow. Your average company is at 10%. And I'm looking at companies all day long, less than 10%. So of course I'm from St. Louis. I'm from the show me state. I don't believe him. So I've got $3,000 saved up for car repairs. We go to New Mexico. I do exactly what he says to do. I buy up 10 half-acre parcels at an average price of $300. I put them up online, and they all sell for an average price of over $1,200. 300%, it worked. So I took all that money. This is 2000, right? I went to another auction in Arizona where I live. There's no one in the room. I'm buying up lots and acreage. And over the next 6 months, I made over 90 grand on that one auction. So I go to my wife. I'm like, honey, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to invest in land full time. She's pregnant. She's like, absolutely not. So I worked land investing as a side hustle. And it took about 18 months before the land investing income exceeded the investment banking income. And that's when I quit. And I've been doing it full time since 2001.
Man, that is phenomenal. I love that story too, man. That's awesome. So you've been doing this for 17 years, give or take at this point.
Yeah, I love it.
So are you going to these actual auctions? It sounds like in the beginning you were. Right?
In the beginning I was.
Okay. And now you don't go?
No, I mean, my business philosophy is I can always make more money, but I can't get more time. So anything that I can systematize, outsource, delegate, or eliminate, I will do. Okay. So essentially, if I actually wanted to go to an auction, like let's say like the recession hits, right? Well, then those competitive auctions, no one's going to have the cash, right? Because like in 2008, 2009, 2010, I could buy all day long in auctions. Nobody had any cash. Then I would hire a bidder service to go and bid for me instead of me spending time going to a hotel room, paying for food, whatever it is. Like I got 3 kids. I want to spend time with them. And I let the bidding company buy up that raw land.
Nice. So are you doing that still?
No, because I want to get the properties before they go to auction. And, in this current market, I don't need to. I think those auctions are still too competitive anyways.
Right. Yeah, I just left one. There was like 100 people there. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So when you're buying,
you did really well. You got a deal for $5,000.
I did. I got one for $5,000. Now it has a 1-year redemption on it. So is there any redemptions that you have to deal with? Because you just mentioned a minute ago, there's 3,000 or 5,000 counties?
Yeah, there's 3,007 U.S. counties. So it depends on the state. There are redemption periods, but because it's raw land, and again, they're not living on it, there's, the redemption is very, very low. So since I've been doing this, I think I've had one property redeem during like a period in like New Mexico.
Just one?
One
out of 5,000.
It's really rare.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. So in the event that they do redeem it, do you get a return on your investment then, or how does that work? Or do you just get your money back?
You get your money back.
Okay, yeah. Got it. So the one that I just did, it's got a 10% return. So if they were to redeem it in a year, I would get 10% back on my $5,525 I just spent. And if they don't redeem it within a year, then I get the property.
Right. So you're basically doing a tax lien model. Mm-hmm. 95% of tax liens are redeemed. So in the housing, right, you got hedge funds and private equity groups. There's big money in that space. In this space, there isn't. Right.
I love that though. That sounds really fascinating to me, due to the fact that it's that the redemptions are so low. I mean, basically you're flipping the equation completely around. 95% of these are going to be redeemed, and probably less than 5% of the other ones. In your case, 1 in 5,000.
Right. I mean, if we went to a RIA meeting together, like a real estate investment association meeting, and there's 100 people in that room. 99 of them will be flippers, landlords, and wholesalers. You and I, David, will be the only land guys. So we've got this massive market of billions of acres and no one doing it.
No one doing it. Man, that's awesome. Mark, how do we learn more about how we can do this? You've given us a really, really simple 10,000 foot view of how that works, but I'm sure that there's a lot of information and a lot of education that somebody would need to actually get in the game and start doing a couple of these a month or even a week. Do you have a product or anything like that that you sell or that you help people with or coach, anything like that?
Yeah. I mean, we do all that because, essentially we want to be a Sherpa, right? Like if you're going to go up that land investing mountain, we want to help you get up there quickly, safely, efficiently, and not, have you freeze to death.
Sure.
So we do all that. But I think the best place to go is thelandgeek.com, and you can get started there.
Yeah.
I have a book on Amazon called Dirt Rich, kind of walks you through the entire process as well. And then I have got a course that's called the Passive Income Launch Kit course. It's normally $97, but if your listeners email support@thelandgeek.com, they put in the subject line David Dodge or discounted property investor, we'll send them that course for free.
Okay, let me recap just real quick so I can get the show notes right too. So thelandgeek.com is their website.
Right.
Then you're an author. You wrote a book?
I wrote a book, Dirt Rich.
Dirt Rich. That's awesome. And then are you the only author on that one?
I'm the only author. It says, how one ambitiously lazy geek created passive income in real estate without renters, renovations, and rehabs.
Dirt Rich. All right, here, hold that up one more time for me real quick.
Boom.
Awesome. Got it. Okay, cool. Very cool. And then the passive income, what was that again? Just to
The
recap.
Passive Income Launch Kit is a $97 course that if they email support@thelandgeek.com and they just put in the subject line David Dodge or discounted property investor, we'll send that to them for free.
Awesome, man. I'm going to check it out myself. Very
There you
cool.
go.
But yeah, discount property investor or David Dodge in the subject line. And you're going to send out that course. That sounds awesome. I'm going to be checking you out and as well as purchasing the book. I'm super excited. My business now is doing 10 to 15 wholesale deals a month. We have 6 or 7 rehabs going at any time. And we're acquiring 2 to 3 rental properties a month. So we have a big organization, a lot of moving parts, a lot of people. And I'm all about passive income. That's my goal. I even have my goal written on my phone. I'll show you here. It's kind of funny. Everyone laughs at me. But passive income is my passion. And it says auto suggestions, probably hard to read.
100,000 a month in passive income. I love it.
100,000 a month in passive income. That's right. So that's where my goal's at. So I think that this would be a really great tool to add to my belt as well. And we have 3 virtual assistants already. So training 1 or even 2 of those individuals to start automating this business like you have to 70, 80, even maybe 90% of the way through it wouldn't be that difficult for me at this point.
No, you already have the infrastructure in place. So essentially, real estate, it's a numbers game. So that's really what it is.
I love it.
And if you got your marketing in place, it wouldn't be very difficult at all.
Wouldn't be very
And then
good.
we got all the tools and the software. You love it.
Right. So real quick, because I know you got to run here soon. A couple quick more questions for you in terms of marketing. So you quit going to the auction. In the beginning, that's what you were doing, which is awesome. But now you're basically sending out mail. Is that your main source of marketing is mail?
The mail is the main source of marketing. Now we'll also do wholesale deals as well from people in the business where sometimes they need cash, they need quick cash. Maybe they got a bigger deal, a better deal, and they just want to sell that property fast. So they'll wholesale it to me. We'll do that as well.
Okay, but the majority of your marketing though, so basically you're going in before the property even gets to the auction where it becomes competitive. So you've killed all the competition, which I think is awesome. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite deals that I ever did was one of my clients, Tori, he sends out a mailer. Guy responds, he's like, look, I owe $30,000 in taxes and the property is going to auction tomorrow. And so this is called a deed grabber situation. So if he's going to lose that property, if he doesn't pay the $30,000 in taxes, he doesn't have it. So this was about 3,000 acres. We bought it 5 cents on the dollar, and I paid the taxes. Like, I called the treasurer, I'm like, wipe it off from auction. I created a video for writing the check. Here's the FedEx. I'm sending the check in. And then after we did due diligence all day on those properties, and then essentially I had the seller, because I needed to watch him sign the deed over to my company, have them notarize it, and I had to watch the video of them putting it into FedEx, because I'm not paying his taxes, not knowing I'm getting the deed. So I watched all that, got the deed, and the two of us, we each made $350,000 on one deal on a deed grabber situation.
Wow, that's sweet. How hard was it to sell?
Oh, 5 cents on the dollar is simple.
It's simple. I love it, man. So you're beating everyone to get to the property, which is cool. So you're finding out where or who owes and who's about to go, and then you're just contacting them directly with mailers. Are you doing any cold calling, or do you have anybody that's doing any skip tracing, or it's too much work for you?
Now skip tracing we will do.
Right.
So we have a VA program. So we use binverified.com.
Sure.
And so let's say we get that little yellow letter back in the mail. So now Lob is who we use, and they'll do the address verification. So that's really low now. But for the longest time, like, we would do the skip tracing, because that's gold. No one's getting to those people.
Right.
And then we would resend the mail. But that's all done in our software.
I love it, man. I'm going to check this out. Well, Mark, I know you got to hit the road. I got to go hit the road as well, too. I bought one this morning. I got another appointment this afternoon. I'm going to hopefully buy 2 today. So I'm excited about that. Everyone that's listening, check out Mark. He is the man, thelandgeek.com. He's got a book, which I'm about to buy here in about 10 minutes, Dirt Rich. And then he is going to send you guys a special offer today. The Passive Income Launch Kit is typically $97. It's a course. If you email Mark at support@thelandgeek.com, and in the subject line, put in either Discount Property Investor or David Dodge, and he is going to send you that kit. Is that an online thing that just emailed over?
Yeah, that's online. We'll get them the access. It'll be great.
Sweet, very cool. I'm gonna send you an email right now. So check out Mark. And if you guys are wanting to kill your competition, get away from even having competition, and focus on a niche that not many people are doing that can create passive income and to do tons of deals, then you need to check out Mark. Absolutely, Mark, you're the man. Thanks for joining me today.
David, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, Mark. Well, it was great talking to you. Let's keep in touch. I'm going to go ahead and end the show. If anybody has any questions, again, reach out to Mark, thelandgeek.com. All right, Mark, thanks again, buddy. You have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
David, you too. Have an emails for me.
That's right. We'll talk to you soon, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Thanks for listening to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to help us reach a wider audience. To jumpstart your real estate investing career, please visit freewholesalecourse.com, the most complete free course on wholesaling real estate ever. We would also appreciate it if you left us a review on iTunes or Stitcher. Thank you in advance for your support, and remember, you make your money when you buy, and you get paid when you sell. Now let's go build some wealth.